Hey there, this is John Chen, your host for the Engaging Virtual Meetings podcast. If you're watching here on social media, hey, do us a favor, hit the subscribe, share, like, or comment, and let us know if you're here during the live podcast. If you want to check out all of the podcasts, go to engagingvirtualmeetings.online, and you'll see all the podcasts, over 100 episodes, and a new episode every single Wednesday. And for listening in, hey, check this out, in the engagingvirtualmeetings.com conference. You can get a free ticket here at engagingvirtualmeetings.com/CON. In 2025, it'll be at October 21st to the 23rd. You got to go check it out, right? It is called the Engaging Retreat. This is the place to learn things about the latest in engagement. If you want to go check it out, it will be here in Seattle and hybrid online. So now today we have today's guest on Engaging Virtual Meetings podcast, and she's amazing, and she's got some big news to share with you. She has a background in corporate accounting and finance for over 10 years, including a BA at UW, go Huskies, and an MBA at Keller graduate. She's currently working with the Howdang real estate team with the top 10 agents in all of Washington for the past 10 years. She's a wife, mama 3, businesswoman, and now she's the author of she just published her first book called Joyful Living. Please welcome Lien Ngoc. Hey, Lien, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
Fantastic.
I'm good.
Happy Thanksgiving to you.
Thanksgiving to you too.
How did you spend Thanksgiving this year?
Oh, I just went with the family. I'm vegetarian, so I made some vegan chili, and the family made a lot of like very yummy treats, and then lots of vegetarian options for us. So that's pretty good.
I know. I think I saw your vegan chili on Facebook. So thank you.
Yeah, it's super good. If you want to try a recipe, let me know. Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of let's try and figure out who you are, right? Let's start for my friends who don't know you. Take a moment and will you please share who you are and what you do?
Well, my name is Lien. I am, my background is in accounting and finance for over 10 years. I work at Expedia, Visa, Physio Control. And then I started with accounting and then go into corporate finance. And then after I have my kids, then I started doing real estate with my husband. And, we're the top 10 in the state of Washington right now. And, in my spare time, I usually do meditation, yoga, and then I'm a true believer in, Tao, which is it's almost similar to Buddhist. So I practice that in my spare time. And I live in Bellevue, Washington.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing a little bit more about you. So, well, then how did you get your business started? You had all these other things going here. I'm kind of curious. What was the genesis of starting your own business, Lien?
Well, actually, I've been working corporate accounting for over 10 years. And then when I have my kids, that's when I decided to hop on the bandwagon with my husband. He actually started 20 years ago. So I've been only doing real estate for 5 years. So he already have all the system in place, and I just plug in and then help him, build the business even bigger and better for our marketplace over here.
Well, genius. So, of course, over the past 4 or 5 years, you've probably been in quite a few virtual meetings. So I'm curious for you, what has to happen for you in a virtual meeting for it to be engaging for you?
Well, at first it has to be relatable, like something that I'm interested in. And then, because if, the topic is not interesting, I won't be engaged, right? So if they are engaged, if it's an interesting topic, something that I'm interested in, that'll be engaging for me.
Outstanding. Well, of course, we have this big piece of news over here is that you just released your book. Here is the book, Joyful Living. So talk a little bit about the book, right? What inspired you to write this book, Joyful Living?
Well, I'm a life learner, so I always try to read books. Even though I'm done with school, I still read books and develop myself personally and professionally. So when I learn something, I can't keep it to myself. I have to share it with other people. And then as I'm learning and growing, and then when I found out some key strategies, how to live a happier life, then I said, you know what, it works for me. I have to share with other people. And then as I'm going through life, I see that there's my friends and family, they come to me and they're suffering in whatever things they're dealing with. And then as I research about happiness, I see that there's about 60% of the people are actually suffering and not happy with their job. I was like, wow, that's a very big number.
Oh, yes, that
And
number I know. Yes.
that's huge. And then not only that, the suicidal rate is pretty interesting to me because they said it's usually mostly the successful people are suicidal instead of the poor or Latino or someone that is not that successful. I was like, how is that possible? It's because all those successful people think that if they have the car, the house, the boat, the spouse, and then the fame, they'll be happy. But when they got there, they don't know what else to do, and then they take their lives away. Like, you can know Robin Williams, Kate Spade, Anthony Bourdain, like they're very successful in every aspect of their life, but they don't know how to control their mind, and they don't know how to be happy in whatever situation you're in. So as I was looking through all of this, and I found some key ways how you could be happy, not to have all those accolades and material things to be happy. And
Hmm.
that's why I want to share this book so it can help people to be happy, not only, during the holidays, as you know, there is kind of sad for some people that doesn't have family or lost some loved ones, but they
Hmm.
can be happy on not only this season, but all seasons of their life.
Yeah, yeah. So, well, what a great inspiration for the book. And so, for you, right, Leanne, what does joyful living mean to you?
Well, before I thought that joy or happiness is when I will, get that position, the corporate job, and then have the kids, the house, the spouse, and everything like that. And then when I got there, when I got the promotion, I was like, okay, what is my next goal? Because I was a senior financial analyst during that time. And I was like,
Hmm.
my next position would be a manager. And then as I was looking at my manager, looking at my next goal, is that she's working not 9 to 5, but 9 to 9, and sometimes in the weekends and always emailing us too. So I was like, I don't know if I want that lifestyle because
Hmm.
I'm in finance. I know how much you get paid, so I don't know if it's worth it for me, right? So I start questioning about life, and then I talk to my mentor and ask him, like, so what is the meaning of life? How to become happy or long-lasting happiness? And he said, Lien, happiness is not a destination; it's in the journey. And I was like, happiness in the journey. And for me, happiness is not when you have all those material things, the cars, the boats, or anything like that.
Right.
It's when you wake up in the morning and you feel good, right? And then working toward your potential or your goals.
Now I see here you've got right. This is our good friend Chris Widener, who used to
Oh,
live in
yes.
Seattle. He
Yes. You
wrote
know him?
uh, he wrote a little testimonial for your book. Like, how do you know
Yes.
Chris?
Oh, it's a long story, but I'll make it really short. So, as you know, I'm always learning and growing. And then I was at a seminar and he was on stage with 25,000 people.
Right.
And I was inspired by him, like his debonair, his way of talking, and then I was in Seattle, and I was, as you know, I'm into nonprofit. I was a board member at NAP, the National Asian Professional Group, and
Yeah.
I was professional development chair, and then one of the things I learned is if you don't ask, you don't get. So I was like, hey, he's in Seattle. Why not ask him to do
Oh,
a speaking event for us? So he did,
yeah.
and I asked him, I was like, hey, I saw you on a stage of like 25,000 people in North Carolina or whatever you're going to go in a little bit right now. And then I said, can you do a talk for us on art of influence? And he's like, sure. I was like, what? He is so busy, but he's able to give his heart and his time for us. I was like so inspired. And then he did like the best, uh, professional development we ever had.
Wow.
And he is so sweet. I said, so how much do you cost? You know what he said? You can afford me.
That's probably true
So
too, Chris.
yes, that's right. He said, I'll do pro bono for you guys because you're a nonprofit organization. So he's just doing out of his heart. And then when I was writing my book, the first person I think about who could coach me, it will be him because he has such a good heart and his results show. So he's my coach, and then he's been in this journey with me, and then now he on the cover of my book.
Well, it just shows you, how relationships are a key part of joyful living. I do want to go backwards a little bit too. That mental health things that you were talking about, and some of the challenges. I've been doing a lot of work in the API or Asian Pacific Islander space. So tell me a little bit more too. I don't know if you did any research or had any experiences with Asian Pacific Islanders and mental health or joyful living.
Actually, I'm surprised that the successful white male is the one that have suicidal rate the most. But
Oh,
the API, the Asian Pacific Islanders, or the Latin or the blacks,
yeah.
their suicidal rate is actually low,
Hmm.
right? The
Hmm.
reason why is because the poor, they do not have those high expectations that they have to reach these high caliber positions, right?
Huh.
And then when they are suffering, they have their friends and family and community to help them through it. So
Right.
they're actually the lowest level of suicidal rates. I was like,
Interesting.
wow, that's surprising. So it proves to us that like social connection is very important. So
Mhm.
when you're reaching up those high rankings, make sure you're always connected with your family and friends and community.
Well, this talks a little bit around your Buddhist background, though. I know
Right,
detachment is one of the top things in Buddhism.
right.
You may not have these mental problems if you don't have attachment to things or goals or money, right? If you have somewhat of this detachment to it. So I'll be curious if that was also a factor around there. So,
Oh
well, that was
yes. Can I share about detachment real quick since we're not
yeah,
talking about it?
please.
That's what the most of the suffering is from. It's because we're attached to something, and
Right.
then if we lose our spouse, I mean, of course, that's a lot of suffering, or lose our car or a purse or something like that. But you think about it, those are all just material or outside thing. It's how you perceive what it is, right? And if we learn to let it go and not be attached to the things or the things people say to us,
Yeah.
then we'll be in a blissful state at all the time.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of this I think as we get more advanced in our lives, there are often times where you have to not care about what other people say about you because you're not in control of that.
Exactly. I mean, as you know, there's always 700,000 like thoughts in a day, right?
Yeah.
And then you can't even control your own mind. How can you control others? And then how can you control their opinions about you? And most likely it's not positive, right? There's always some kind
Hmm.
of judgment or negative or something like that. And then if they say it to you, it might trigger you and
Yes.
you suffer. But if you let it go and then just move on, then you won't suffer that much.
Well, Leon, maybe you'll love this. Like in doing personal development, one of the beliefs that I created was I work on myself to remove buttons so that other
Mm.
people can't push them.
That's a good one. Hey,
Right.
I'm gonna steal that. Like remove button.
You happily license and borrow. That'll feel like this is my pro bono Chris
All right.
Wagner style
Okay.
again.
Cool.
All right. So why do you think we should live a joyful life? I feel like you were asking your mentor, so I'm going to ask you as the mentor, right? Why do you
Right.
think we should live a joyful life?
Oh my goodness. If you live a joyful life, your life will elevate in all areas of your life, from
Hmm.
your relationship, from your well-being, from your spirituality, from your purpose in life. Because if you are happy, guess what? Most of the people want to spend time with you, want to do business with you, right? And
Yes.
then you have a good relationship. And then if you're happy, studies have shown that when you're happy and in a good mood, then our we won't have that much disease. The reason why people are sick is because it's called dis-ease, right? They're dis-ease, but when you're ease, then you won't have that sickness. So, like professionally, they said that when you're happy mood, you actually help with your health, right?
Hmm.
And then not only that, if you are positive or happy, in the Happiness Advantage book I referenced in
Yes.
the Joyful Living by
Yes.
Sean Anker,
Yeah.
he said, yeah, and he says that if you're positive, not neutral, you are more likely to be more productive, you're more creative, and you're more motivated to work toward your goals or your dreams. So then, thus, you'll be more successful, right? So, because most people have it opposite, they always think, I'll be happy when I get that car or be successful, right? But no, it's actually the opposite. You have to be happy first and then you'll be successful. And that's the reason why I think, most people, why we should be happy is because it will elevate every areas of your life.
Yeah, thank you so much. I was actually, here's a fun fact. I was actually the producer to Sean Aker in a virtual keynote. So,
Really? Oh my goodness. I love him so much. I would love to get an autograph for him or meet him in person. Actually, I met him. The reason how I know about him is because he was, again, a keynote speaker. As you can
yeah.
see, I go to a lot of seminars. To a seminar I went in Las Vegas for Dillo, and then he
Oh,
was talking about the happiness advantage. And then
right.
I was, again, what's engaging meeting is relevant, it's interesting, and I want to learn more about it. So I was totally glued to my seat when he was on stage.
Genius, genius. Yeah,
Right.
Sean is one of the top speakers that we know on the circuit. So, okay, so can you share top three? Can you share three key takeaways that readers can apply from reading your book to their lives? So this is really for those people, right? They may or may not get your book. Of course, and we know in books too, not everyone reads the whole book. So if you could
Right.
just really give somebody like a piece of value from your book, what would those three key takeaways be?
Well, of course, there's so many things I want to share. And then it took me like a while to think about, like, if I were to give three key takeaway that people could take from the book,
Yeah,
is that joy is the purpose of life. Because why do people do the things they do? It's because to get the feeling of it, right? Why do they get the car or the boat or the spouse or the kids? It's the feeling of it. So
right,
why not be joyful now? Not wait till you get that stuff or that material thing, right? And
right.
then, like, if you know that, the past is already over, the future is not here, and the present moment is the only moment right now. So
Mhm.
why not be present and be joyful right now? And then one of my mentor always says to me, it's like, Lien, like, why you always worry about, getting this accolades or this position or whatever? Like, just enjoy the moment. And then, like, the holidays are here. So try to be present and enjoy the moment with your family. Because when you're present and, you're not thinking about other things, then you'll be always at the blissful state all the time. So that's one. The
Okay.
second is um, be responsible for your own happiness. It's
Yes.
because, like, no one else is gonna make you happy. Like, if right, imagine you go to a doctor and then you don't know why you're sick, and then the doctor gave you the prescription, and then the prescription is, this is for your boss, this is for your spouse, and this is for your kids. And then you're like, none of it is for me, right? And they're like, your boss have to be more respectful and kind to you, or your spouse to be more romantic, or your kids to listen to you, right? We're blaming everyone else but ourselves to be happy. If we don't expect other people to cure our health issues, why do we expect others to cure our mental issues, right?
Yeah.
So it's important to take responsibility of your own happiness, because when you don't depend on other people for your own happiness, think how, like, how much control you have of your life instead of being dependent on other people. Yeah, sometimes if someone give you some flowers for your birthday or the present you want for Christmas, yeah, it brings you a lot of joy, but those are not sustainable. What's sustainable is you being in control of your own happiness, and
Yeah.
then you'll be at a blissful state all the time.
You'll appreciate this, Leah. And like I got a
Yeah.
chance to meet Dalai Lama when the Dalai Lama came to
Wow.
Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
And like I don't know what came to me while listening to him is like, what if what if the Dalai Lama got divorced, right? Divorce was one of the more challenging things in my life. And I'm like, how would he approach it? Like, and could you see him actually getting divorced and having joy through the process? And then it suddenly realized like going, wait, it might be possible to do that. And so it's a choice that you really
Right.
have that you can take anything, even what you might describe as the worst thing in your life, and you could approach it with some joyful attitude if you just thought about it, if you just made a decision, right?
Right. I was just looking at some videos the other day about, Melinda Gates. She's going through a divorce,
Right.
and then that was the worst thing she ever had to go through. And she says that one of the things that got her through is through grace, learning, like, to have grace that, everything will be okay, and have faith.
Yeah.
Yes, I understand that, I'm talking about this joyful thing, and people are like, oh, okay, that's too far fetched. I cannot get there. But if you're in that dark space, just try to believe that there's grace out there, and then there will be, the rainbow on the other end of the storm. So whatever you're going through, just know that there will be grace, and then maybe it's a blessing instead of a suffering or some kind of curse. But because now she's free, she could do whatever she wants, and she's happier, and then to be with whoever that will treat her with respect and with love and care, right? So
Yes.
that's
Yes. Yes.
one thing. I know we're going off tangent, but I just want to share what I've saw recently.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Okay. Wait, you
Right.
have a third takeaway though,
Oh
right?
yeah, there's one more. Thank you for reminding me.
Of
So
course.
the third takeaway is not the last but not least is one of the things that actually drive me to write this book, and then the name Joyful Living is what you feel is what you will attract, because you create your destiny through how you feel, right?
Mhm.
And can you imagine you wake up in the morning and then you feel good, and then you got hit all the green lights, you got all the front row parking space, and then once you get your coffee, they made perfectly the way you wanted it. And then when you get to the office, everyone is on schedule to work on the project and everything is flowing. And then maybe you had a call, and then a client just wants to, buy a house through you, right? Suddenly miracles start happening to you because you're in the flow. But if you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, you hit all the red lights, and then when you get your coffee, it's not what you wanted, and it's spill all over you. And then when you get to the office, there's no front row parking. You have to park way in the back. And then when you get to the office, no one is on schedule of working on the project, and you're trying to call the client, and then they were upset with you or whatever it is. It's like when it rains, it pours. So what you feel, you attract. And it's true, because have you ever been in those situations, John?
Well, yeah, you remind me, one of my favorite movies is The Secret. And one of the things I
Right.
still remember from The Secret is
Mhm.
manifesting a parking spot,
Oh, yes,
right?
that's right.
And so it sounds small, but it's one of
Right.
these ways that if you take it up as a practice, you'll find yourself that you'll convince yourself more and more that this is important. Like if you say in your head, I'm never going to find a parking spot, there's no parking anywhere, right? This sucks, right? This is a terrible experience,
Hmm.
it's going to cost too much, as opposed to going, I can manifest the perfect parking spot at the right time. And like all of a sudden, somebody will pull out of the parking spot right in front of the store that you want to go to, and there's time left on the meter. And it's like
Right.
those small things I think are the gateway to big things, like being able to manifest something like a book, right? A book is actually a big undertaking,
Right.
but I think if you learn to manifest small things, then you can manifest big things, right?
That's so true. So I want to give you a couple golden nuggets how to manifest
Mhm.
like small or big things, right?
Yeah, go.
So like everything starts with your mind. Everything starts with your
Yeah,
thought.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Imagine you're on top of a hill, right? And you put your car in neutral and you nudge it for a little bit, and then start scrolling down, right? Start like going downhill. And all you do is just go into the front and you stop it.
Yeah.
And it's easy. You can stop it. But what if you let it go down and it go all the way down toward the bottom? Do you think you can stop it?
No,
Probably not.
momentum. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
momentum.
momentum, right? So you can't stop it. You just have to let it go and until it hit a tree or slowly down, right? Same thing with our thoughts. If we start having a negative thought, we can stop it before it become like a feeling or momentum, because
Yeah,
every
yeah, yeah.
thought becomes a feeling, right? If you're thinking about someone that cheated you or betrayed you or something, and then you get anger, then
Yes.
that's the feeling. But if you're thinking about your vacations or you're planning it, and there's excitement, right? And that's a feeling, right? So if you be mindful of your thoughts, if it's at the beginning stage where there's no momentum and
Yes.
there's no feelings attached to it,
Yeah.
then you can stop it and redirect it to something else. Okay, you're thinking about, someone did you wrong. Okay, I'm gonna go take a walk or play with my kids
Right.
or do something that, so you won't think about that negative thought. But if it's a positive thought, let the momentum go, because it's positive, right? You're excited about your vacations or your kid's birthday or whatever you're planning, then let the momentum of the good feeling come.
Mm.
So, with anything like in life, like people's purpose of life is to feel joy.
Yes.
So, like when you, and then try to think of positive thoughts, so you always have the positive feeling, right? So that's the key point I want to share with you in this podcast is that that's why it's called joyful living. It's to feel joy not only, only one season in your life, but every single part of your life.
Well, that relates. Yeah, Tony Robbins teaches a key piece on here, and that's the kill the monster while it's little, right? Because it's easy. It's so much easier, but you
Yeah.
wait till it's like too big and it's overwhelming and all these other things. But I don't want to share this other one. So, are you a fan of Elizabeth Gilbert?
Oh, of course. I read her book, Eat, Pray, Love.
Okay.
It's such a good book. Yes.
So I
Hmm.
was her producer, and she shared a really interesting story that
Really.
says, yeah, that goes to this belief: thoughts are things, right?
Hmm.
Thoughts are things. And what happened was is that after that book, like two or three books after that, she had this whole idea for a book, and it was like in this like time period. It was like back in the 20s or 30s, and had all this stuff in there, and she couldn't finish it. And she tried over COVID to finish it, and she couldn't finish it. And every time she got there, she got stuck, right? Which is probably related to the next question I'm going to ask you, and she got stuck. And so in the end, she gave up on the book. And then, like 2 years later, another author who she knew had the exact same idea for the book, even though she never once told her about the concept of the book.
Wow.
But she goes, it was the exact same book, it was the exact same time period, it had this woman character in it, and like had all these things in it. And so the whole kind of thing went around is that that idea for the book, like an idea or that thought, was a thing, and that when it didn't manifest through Elizabeth Gilbert, it went somewhere else to go get manifested. Right.
Right.
And so it was really, she said it blew her away about, especially because it was so exacting. Like she knew everything inside of that book, but apparently for one reason or another, it was not hers to finish it. And then somebody else did. And then somebody else did.
Yeah, I hear about ideas. People always have all these inventions and stuff like that, and they never pursue it. And then they see someone else, did like the
Yes.
Ubers or the
No.
Netflix or whatever it is, right?
Whatever.
Like, yeah, like because these thoughts it's floating around in the
Right.
world, and whoever capture it and then execute on it, they could benefit from it.
And
So
that's the
when you have
responsibility.
inspire action, when
Yes.
you have a thought and an inspire action to do it, go grab and do it before it goes away. And then that's why when I was writing my book, when I have a thought, I literally write it down right away. Any points, because if I don't, I'm gonna lose it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Right.
So, so, let's talk about then people who get stuck, right? So
Mhm.
what advice do you have for people who get stuck on the way to something they think is an idea or joyful?
Well, there's so many, ways how can you deal with it, right? And the reason why most of the people are suffering is because it's all in our mind. And then if we know how to control our mind, then we'll be able to unstuck or unlock whatever it is, or go into the path that we want to go.
Hmm.
So I would give you an acronym. It's called MAP, MAP.
MAP.
So it's just easy for people to remember. If I'm stuck, what should I do? All right. Meditate for M, A for adapt, and P for positive. Positive thinking.
Okay.
So meditate. I know most people's like, okay, I'm not gonna, I'm not like you where I can sit around and go, all day, right? So if you are not the type of person can sit down and then just do your deep breathing, then you can meditate, do movement meditation, right?
Hmm.
Go take a walk,
Yeah.
go exercise.
Yeah.
If you go to the gym and you take those classes, when you're totally present in the moment,
Yeah.
you are meditating, right? When you're not thinking about the problem or the issues or something like that.
Yeah.
So meditate, whatever form of meditation is, even doing the dishes, while you're just being present and
Yeah.
just washing the dishes, then you're meditating, right? So try, because just think about our mind. Remember I said we have over 700,000 thoughts a day, and then it's always moving. So just
Yeah.
think like a snow globe. If you keep on moving, you will never see clearly what's inside. But when you settle it down, you see clearly what's inside, and you will know what direction to go, how to solve your problem or your issues, or how to be unstuck, right? And
Here's your marketing idea of the week, Leanne, is to
okay,
make
what?
joyful living snow globes.
Oh, that's a good one.
Right. And on the
Remind
bottom, it says
people,
joyful living or clarity or something.
right?
You can't see that until it's all
Hey,
clear.
brilliant. See, you got the idea. You tell me right away. I'm going to go manifest it and then work on it right away. I'm going to put a merchant section in my website.
Merch. There you go. That's right.
Right. All right.
So,
So
yeah, go ahead. Do
first
you have
is
more?
meditation, and
Yes.
then
Oh,
A
yeah.
is adapt, right?
Yep.
Because in anything in life, life's just going to happen. And if you don't know how to adapt to the situations, you're going to be stuck. Like, as you know, we're in real estate and the market is moving like crazy all the time.
Changing
Interest rates
rapidly.
going up and down.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
we
yeah.
need to know how to adapt. Interest rate right up. So what we're going to do, oh, all our buyers not going to buy anymore? It's like, no, we tell them, hey, if you buy now, yes, interest rates high, but you can have option to, find the house you love, have the inspection. You don't have to go crazy, in the market when the interest rate is low and everyone is going by and they waive inspections and all the contingencies. They don't even know, what's wrong with the house, right?
Yeah.
So you have all the freedom to look at all the house you like, inspect it, and then when the interest rate go down, then you refinance, right? We always say marry the house, but not the interest rate, right? So
I haven't heard that one. That's good.
yes, marry the house, but not the interest rate.
Yeah.
And then I know there's some corporate people in the world right now, and Amazon and some other companies, they're going to go back to work 5 days a week. So, how are you going to adjust? Are you going to accept it? Are you going to shout and pout about it? And if you don't like it, then you have to, find another job, right? So, anything in life, whatever adversity you're dealing with, first is what are you going to make it mean? What are you going to focus on? And what are you going to do about it, right?
Yeah.
So, if you go, back to the jobs, like, what does it mean? Oh, I get to, connect with my coworker more. Everyone's going back to the job. And then, there's cafeteria food or the food at the restaurants. And then what are you going to focus on? Focus on, yeah. So then I have opportunities to show my worth that I could, show that I'm working and then collaborate with my coworkers. And then what are you going to do about it? And yeah, go to the job, right? So, in anything, like, what are you going to make it mean? Because how you perceive the situation is how you're gonna experience it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the last is being positive,
Right.
right?
P.
Everything, there's always a negative side, right? So, for example, as you can see, we're in Seattle and it rains all the time.
Ta-da.
So, what are
Right.
we gonna do about it? Like,
Yeah.
I was in the PTA and then I did picnic at the park for the kids at the end of the year, and it started raining. I was like, oh my goodness, what can I make it mean? I'm gonna make it mean like, oh, the party is over or the picnic is over. Should I cancel it? No, I'm gonna say, okay, we still have opportunity to, connect and engage, and then the kids can still have fun. I mean, the kids literally like play in the rain. They don't even care, right? And if
Right.
we're just yeah, if we're just like the kids, then we just dance in the rain, whatever it is. You dance in the rain or play in the rain. And then I found a shelter and we could just go in there and then have the food there. It's not wet, so we're able to connect, right? So like whatever situation you're in, try to make the best of it, because when you make the best of it, then the best outcome happen, right? And then we're able to connect and the kids have fun and then play. So try to be positive in all the aspects of whatever situation you're in. And then especially with relationships,
Yeah.
try to look for the positive aspects of other people instead of the negative. Because as you know, I am not perfect. You're not perfect. Everyone have flaws. But if we just focus on everyone's positive aspect, then we won't see more of if we look at the positive aspects of other people, then more positive aspects will show instead of the negative or whatever it is.
Let's talk a little bit about struggle. So I failed 4 times over the course of 10 years to write a book.
Really? Wow, I didn't know that.
And then over the pandemic, I actually wrote an entire 300-page book, 60,000 words in 9 weeks.
Wow.
So like I'm one human having two totally different experiences. So I heard it took you 5 years to write this book, right? What struggles did you face to finish it and what were like some of the highlight moments in writing this book?
Well, time is the most important thing, right? I don't have time. As you can see, I'm very busy. I have like 3 kids and a business to run, and then my own health I have to take care of.
Yes.
So I
Right.
have to prioritize my time. And then that's one of the biggest struggle is like I do time block it, but sometimes I would time block it and then I was like, I'll have a meeting and then I had to go grocery shopping. And then by the end of the day, it's like, oh, I have to pick up the kids already, and then it's over. So I really need to prioritize and then just really write my book. And then, of course, I procrastinate too sometimes because, like, sometimes I don't know, I don't know what to write. You have that
Yeah.
writer's block. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you can't think of the words that are coming out, um, and then you don't have the ideas or creativity of it. So I just procrastinate because I don't know what else to write. And then I have this big picture, but when we go to the details, it's hard
Yeah.
to write the words down.
Hmm.
And then the last is, which is the most struggle, is the self doubt. Like, you don't know if this book is good enough for the world. Like, this is my perspective. This is my
Yes.
like experience and what I've learned, right?
Yep.
And then I talked to my mentor, and then he said that, hey, Lien, yes, there is books out there. There's a lot of self help book about joy and everything like that. But this is from your perspective. This is from your experience, and then you could share with the world. And sometimes your friends and family can relate to you than all those books out there, right?
Yeah.
And you're reaching out within your community, and then you never know where it will go from there. So when he said that to me, I feel a little bit of more confidence and more proud of my book, because you're kind of humble and trying to think, oh, I don't know if it's good enough. This is from my perspective, is it good enough for you? But just do the best you can and just put it out there and let the universe do the rest, right? So at the end of the day, remember, whenever you're stuck of doing anything, just do the best you can and let the results go, right? You can't control the
Mhm.
results. I can't control if it's gonna be Amazon bestseller. I can't control like how people perceive it, but I can do the best I can and then let the results go.
Right, and the book is a journey. Like recently, you just had your book release party. I believe that was a high emotional moment for you, and so we're going to come to the fun part of this interview. This is known as the speed round. I'm going to ask you a series of questions. You have to answer them as fast as possible.
Oh, really?
Uh,
Okay.
okay, so
All right.
I did not give these questions to Leanne, just
All
so you
right.
know. Okay,
I'm nervous now. My hands are sweaty.
so hopefully you'll find the joy in this moment because the first question is, what's your best joy moment?
Oh, spending time with my kids, seeing them laugh and giggle. That's my
Oh,
best joy.
well, there you go. So this will get me. So then, besides that moment, what is your best family moment?
My family, best family moment is like eating dinner with them and then asking them how their day is. And then they tell me what they learned, because I love to learn, and then seeing them learning something gives me a lot of joy.
There you go. Right. Okay. Best person that you have helped.
Oh my goodness, I have so many. One of my aunts, she was in a negative space.
Mm.
And then because she'd been through my journey and then learning about like my talks and stuff like that, she said that because of me, and then, she goes to my temple and then learn all the principles we've shared.
Oh.
Um, she have turned around and she's like more joyful. Like, she's this bubbly person now, before all the this dark, gloomy, negative Nancy, aunt, but she's like this joyful and always happy. And then she's actually the person that helped me learn how to make vegan dishes, right? So, and then she's trying to be more vegetarian too.
All
I'm
right.
converting her slowly to become vegetarian. Yeah.
Okay, we'll give that to her. All right. So great. Best health practice for yourself.
Eating my vegetables in the morning. So I try to eat salad for breakfast. I mean, not for breakfast, for lunch.
Hmm.
Because when dinner times, it's, hell go loose. You could do, when the kids want this and that, and then I just eat whatever, right, with the kids. But when I have my alone time, when I eat by myself, I always try to eat healthy. So I usually eat a salad.
There we go. Oh wait, where's my? Oh wow. Oh, I broke a button. Oh, there we go. I was like, what happened to my button? Okay. The best speaker you appreciate that is not you.
Oh my goodness. I would have to say Chris Weiner. I love him so much. He's such a great inspiration for me. So,
Aw. That's great.
yeah.
Shout out for Chris. Chris is again used to be a Seattle resident. Okay, your best moment in life.
Oh my goodness, there's so many. There's so many. I don't even know. I'm gonna cry. I'm just.
We'll give you time.
I think, okay, my biggest moment, like I cried the most, is when I found out that I was able to conceive my first child, and I was
Oh,
like bawling because this was my biggest dream, and then able to be a mother and then have my first child. So You know, like yeah.
There you go. Big,
You know, in life, like one of those things you always dream about and then able to come to fruition.
yeah.
That's like the best moments.
Yes. All right. And the
Mhm.
last one is, if you could magically get people to remember one thing from this interview, what would it be?
How fun it is to be engaged no matter if you are, sitting at your couch or your, office or something like that. And then you can always connect with other people. And I love the fact that you're able to create this space for us, John, that we can engage and then share our ideas with other people. I call you the joy broker.
There you go, right?
Yes, I know. So thank you for giving me this space to share my experience and my joy with the world. And I love the fact that we're able to connect and then share whatever our passion is. And this is a great platform for it. So thank
Well,
you, John.
well,
Mhm.
thank you for that. All right. So the last question of the day here is, so what's the future for joyful living? What do you see in the next 3 to 5 years for yourself, Leanne?
Well, I feel like this is the start, right? This book is like a tool for me to share who I am, to express who Lien is to the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that people will actually read the book, practice what I've shared, the insights and strategies that share how to be joyful. Because if you practice the joyful method, then it's like a shock absorber, right? It helps you with your happiness muscle. And then when people deal with adversity or problems, they're able to remember um, those strategies and habits I shared. And then instead of being sidetracked by a month or two, they're sidetracked for a week or even a few minutes. And you're like, they snap out of it right away, right? And then that's the whole hope for this joyful book. is so people could deal with any adversity come their way. And as you know, life is hard, right? And then how do we deal with it? And I want to create a community and a movement of joy, because when we practice joy ourselves, we're able to share with our family and be the beacon light for our family and then our community and then eventually the world. Because I can't imagine if a world in a happier place, then we won't have any shootings, we won't have any wars, we won't have any fights or
Mm-hmm.
anything like that. So
Mm-hmm.
when you're happy, most people are willing to give, and then when they're not happy, they're not willing to share, right? So when everyone's in a happier space, then they'll be kinder and more compassionate with each other. And my hope is, I will able to not only spread through the book, but my speaking engagements in the future. As you know, I just joined the National Speaking Association Northwest. Thank you for introducing me to this beautiful group, and I'll be more involved in that group there. And then hopefully, I can spread my joy through not only through my book, but through speaking, and then in the community wherever I go.
Genius. Well, Lien Ngoc, thank you so much for sharing your joyful living with us. And we look forward to seeing you around. And of course, one day, right, you're going to be that Chris Widener on stage. You will
Oh,
be that
thank you.
person that somebody's going to come up to you and say, what you said did and inspired me. Thank you so much. And congratulations again on your brand new book.
All right, thank you.
All right, we've been here talking with Lien Ngoc about her new book called Joyful Living. And one of the things that she said is take responsibility for your life, get in the present moment, and figure out how you can experience joy as a process, as something every single day. You can experience joy too if you just subscribe, share, like, or comment here on the Engaging Virtual Meetings podcast. Check it out too. You can see all of the episodes on engagingvirtualmeetings.online, where you can get a chance to see all the podcasts and a new one released every Wednesday. Come check out the engagingvirtualmeetings.com/CON and get a free ticket to the Engaging Conference this year, October 21 through 25th at 2025 here in Seattle and online. And if you want to be like Lien and add a little joy to your life, then you can be my guest on the next Engaging Virtual Meetings podcast. Go to engagingvirtualmeetings.com/meet and select interview. And we look forward to seeing you next joyful time.
Always start people and keep